What if suffering disappeared completely? Would such a world be perfect or deeply inhuman? Brave New World presents a society without pain, conflict, or anxiety, yet it feels profoundly disturbing. The novel asks, can happiness exist without freedom? The story takes place in a future technocratic society. Humans are not born, but manufactured. Before birth, individuals are assigned to castes, from alpha to epsilon, with intelligence and social roles engineered. Family, parenthood, and emotional attachment are considered obscene. Stability is the highest value. Citizens rarely feel dissatisfaction. From childhood, they are conditioned through repetition to love their assigned roles. When discomfort arises, it is immediately erased with a drug called soma. Pain is eliminated, but so is reflection. Into this orderly system enters John, known as the Savage. He has experienced birth, family, suffering, and literature. To John, to be human is to struggle, to love, and to seek meaning. To the system, these traits are dangerous flaws. A pivotal dialogue occurs between John and the world controller. The controller claims they have created a painless, stable society. John responds that he demands the freedom to be unhappy, to suffer, and to search for meaning. Huxley forces readers to confront the cost of comfort. What makes this world terrifying is not violence, but pleasure. Control is achieved not through fear, but through convenience and desire. People do not know they are being controlled. This is domination perfected. Brave New World feels increasingly relevant in an age of algorithms, consumerism, and optimized comfort. How often do we trade discomfort for distraction and thinking for convenience? Now, let's explore how Huxley's vision of a pleasure-based control society warns us about modern technology, hedonic culture, and the subtle ways individuals surrender freedom without realizing it.
So, back in October 2020, something kind of weird happened. Peacock, NBC Universal's brand new streaming service, just pulled the plug on its biggest, most ambitious show, Brave New World, after only one season. Now, this was supposed to be their flagship series, right? The massive sci-fi epic that would launch the whole platform. But instead, it just kind of vanished. And all over the internet, people started asking one simple question: what on earth happened? And this is where the story gets really interesting. For a ton of people, the news that the show was canceled was the very first time they'd even heard it existed. As one person on Reddit put it, they literally did more marketing for its death than they did for its life. So, okay, that leads you to the most obvious suspect, right? Was this just a classic case of bad marketing? I mean, in the middle of the streaming wars, with new shows dropping every single day, did this huge, expensive show just get completely lost in the noise? Did it fail to find an audience because the audience never even knew to look for it? Or maybe the problem went even deeper than that. Some people joked that the show wasn't the problem at all. It was the brand new platform it was stuck on. You know, a flagship show can't really do its job if the ship itself never leaves the dock. So what was it? The marketing, the platform, or was there something baked into the very DNA of the story that made it a tough sell? Well, let's dive in and try to figure out why this supposedly utopian series met such a dystopian end. We're going to look at the show, the classic novel it's based on, and the really tricky philosophical questions that might have doomed it from the start. All right, first things first. Let's get on the same page about what this show actually was. What was this thing that flickered into existence and then disappeared so fast? Yeah, see, this was not some small experimental show. This was a big deal. It was a prestige drama that launched on day one of Peacock's existence. It was based on one of the most famous books of all time, had some big names in it, and was clearly supposed to be the show that got everyone to sign up. The show imagined this futuristic city, New London, where they'd basically achieved total social stability. Everyone's connected to this network run by an AI, and all the messy, complicated parts of being human, jealousy, pain, ambition, even love, they've all been engineered right out of the system for the sake of a peaceful life. But to really get why this show had such an uphill battle, you have to go way back to its original source code, Aldous Huxley's incredible 1932 novel. I mean, this book has been haunting our ideas about the future for almost 100 years. What Huxley imagined was, it wasn't just a new society. It was a whole new kind of human. In his world, things like parents, family, and natural birth, that's all ancient history. Humans are decanted out of bottles, literally mass-produced in labs, just like any other product off an assembly line. And get this, from the moment they're just an embryo, every single person is pre-programmed for a specific role. They're chemically and psychologically conditioned to fit into one of 5 rigid social classes, from the super smart alphas at the top all the way down to the epsilons, who are literally engineered to be happy doing the absolute worst jobs. And what happens if, despite all that conditioning, a stray, unpleasant feeling somehow bubbles up? Well, there's a pill for that. A perfect government-issued drug called Soma. It gives you an instant vacation from reality into a happy little cloud. And the best part? 0 hangover.
All of this is held together by this one creepy idea, a phrase they whisper into the ears of children while they sleep. Everyone belongs to everyone else. Deep, one-on-one relationships are gone. Monogamy is a dirty word. The goal is to get rid of desire and jealousy by making sure everyone is available to everyone all the time.
But into this perfectly engineered, stable, comfortable world, Huxley throws a giant wrench in the works. Because the story isn't just about showing you this society. It's about seeing what happens when it gets challenged. And that challenge has a name, John. He's a man who was born, actually born and raised on a reservation where the old ways of life still exist. He grew up reading Shakespeare, for crying out loud. He knows about religion and pain and love and loss, all the human stuff the world state worked so hard to erase. And this is where you see the core clash of the novel so clearly. On one side, you have the sterile, predictable, and totally painless comfort of the world state. And on the other, you have the messy, chaotic, but vibrant reality of what it actually means to be fully human, with all of its danger and all of its beauty. So when John is brought into this quote-unquote perfect world and offered a life that's totally free of suffering, he rejects it completely. And his response is one of the most powerful moments in all of literature, a defense of our right to experience the full spectrum of life, the good and the bad. He basically claims the right to be unhappy.
So understanding all that, this deep philosophical conflict at the heart of the book, brings us right back to our original question about the TV show. Why, with source material this powerful, did it fail to connect with people?
And I think this right here is the absolute killer challenge of adapting this book. The conflict in Brave New World isn't about good versus evil in the way we usually see on TV. There's no evil emperor, no big space battle. The tension is purely philosophical. The villain is an idea that people have accepted willingly. It's a society that chose pleasure over freedom. And that is a much, much harder concept to make exciting for a TV show than a simple rebellion. See, the reason Huxley's novel has stuck around for so long is that it forces us to look in the mirror. It asks us to think about all the little ways we might be making those same trade-offs in our own lives, choosing what's easy and convenient over things that might be harder but maybe more meaningful. I mean, think about it. Is the constant stream of entertainment, the endless scroll on our phones, the instant gratification we have at our fingertips, is that our modern form of Soma? Is it a way to keep ourselves pleasantly distracted and content so we don't have to engage with more difficult feelings or bigger problems? The question just kind of hangs there, doesn't it? In the end, the mystery of why one TV show got canceled is way less important than the power of the question at its core. The show is gone, but Huxley's warning feels more potent than ever, and it leaves us with one final, pretty unsettling thought. What is the true price of a perfect, comfortable world? And how much of it have we already paid?